welcome one and all to the dating game with the Fantasy Lit Track. We're here today with 3 lucky ladies and a wonderful man, and we're going to see if we can get them to find love in all the wrong and right places. So today we're going to start off. Our contestant today is Declan Idrys. Declan, say hello to the audience.
Hello, everyone. My name is Declan Idrys. I am the Land of Viridian's premier sellsword, and my best friend is a claymore-wielding dragon. So, you know, I'm somewhat interesting.
Dragons are good. All right, well, let's let Declan meet our 3 eligible bachelorettes. We'll start off with contestant number 1. Piper, would you tell the audience about your life?
I am a sea mage, and I've always lived in the Enclave with my litter mates and all of the other mages. So I am looking forward to finding someone different.
Ooh, nice to hear from you, Piper. Lady Hell, now there's a name for you, Declan. I'm telling you right now. Lady Hell, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, hello. I'm Lady Hell, and I am the goddess of death. There's nothing that puts heat in a first date like death. I'm also Loki's daughter, so I have daddy issues.
Without question. All right. Declan, our last choice is Detective Sergeant Dena Malone. Dena, tell us about yourself.
Hi there. I'm a detective sergeant with the police in the Tri-Cities, and among other things, I'm interested in fantasy and science fiction television, but I'm a big fan of a lot of programs like Galaxy Star, and I happen to be hosting an alien. He's a Solosian from a water planet, so he actually lives in my peritoneum, and sometimes he interferes with. So I hope you don't mind going on a date with 2 of us.
But you have handcuffs, so you know that might work.
I was gonna say 2 can be interesting.
But you know, if you're interested in handcuffs, I can show you a pair or 2.
I can't say I'm not, but it's a little early in the game, I think.
All right, well then let's get down to some questions. Declan, I don't know if you've seen the show before. We'll just recash what we're going to be doing here, ladies and gentlemen. Declan's going to ask some questions of our lovely ladies, and they are going to answer, and he is going to get to choose one of these wonderful ladies to go on a date with once this is done. So Declan, we have 3 ladies. I'm going to have you ask a blanket question for all of them to answer, possibly 2, and then you will be allowed to ask pointed questions to different ones if you so choose. So if you were to ask one question of all these lovely ladies, what would that question be?
Well, I brought some ideas for a first date, and I'd love to know what their impressions and what their preferences would be. Is that all right?
That's a perfect question. Piper, why don't we start with you?
Well, my ideal first date would be a long walk along the beach, preferably at full moonrise, nice misty spray, sand. That would be a wonderful date.
Nice answer, Piper. Lady Hell, I'm afraid to ask.
Well, personally, there's nothing so romantic like a nice stroll through a cemetery. We can go under the moonlight, black roses, candles, black wine. Just sounds delicious.
Delicious.
Ooh, nice choice of words. Dena, what does your first date look like?
Well, Malone, shouldn't he ask you about procreation and make... Shut up, Katank. I don't want to hear this right now, please. I'm trying to talk to the nice man, okay? Frankly, the best first date is one that has nothing to do with business, where we can just talk nicely and get to know each other. You know, there's some very beautiful parks around here and holographic displays. You know, you can see anything you want around you. So it would be interesting to see what you think perfect surroundings are for a good date.
Would it be a 2-way conversation or a 3-way conversation?
Yeah, sometimes he interferes. I can turn the bangle off once in a while, but Alien Relations hates it when I do that.
Alien Relations. Interesting stuff. All right, Declan, one more blanket question for our ladies, please. What would it be?
You know, it's similar, but I'm a swordsman, I'm a mercenary, and this is very important to me. I'd like you to tell me of an adventure that you would take me on.
Ooh, adventure. Lady Hell, tell me, what adventure would you like to take Declan on?
Oh, we could go traveling through the 9 worlds. I'd take you to Helheim, where there's just tons of ice cold, torturous actually, but there's so much pleasure and pain. But then I could also take you to Asgard, and maybe I can get Thor to fight with you. Sounds like a great thing to do for a first date.
Thor, I think Thor sounds like a great first date. I'm sorry, this isn't about me. Declan, do you like that answer? Does that sound good for you?
I'm a little concerned because isn't Thor a god?
Of course, but I'm a goddess, so there's always pleasure and pain.
Yes.
Pain and pleasure.
Done. And on that note, we'll go to the lady who has handcuffs. Dena, tell us.
Oh, you want adventure? I can show you adventure. We'll go out, I'll take you on a ride along, and we'll go out on the streets during one of my shifts, and who knows, we might be chasing down a person who's just robbed a store. We could be interviewing somebody who is accused of murder. You don't want to sit in for roll call. That's always boring. But there's a lot of interesting things going on. And if you really want to see some drama, we'll go down to the courthouse and hang out on cases that I have nothing to do with, thank goodness.
Ooh.
It sounds fascinating. Sounds interesting. Sounds less painful.
Much less painful.
And Piper, what kind of adventure would you like to take Declan on?
Well, any adventure, any date that was with me outside of the Enclave would be an adventure, because mages are really highly sought after. And so there would probably be lots of people coming to try to kill me or take me away. So a mercenary would be a great thing to have by my side for any adventure.
Sounds a little bit more up my alley, I must admit. Not gonna lie.
All right, these are some wonderful beginnings. Declan, you are welcome to ask pointed questions of each of the ladies at this point, or if you would like to continue asking blanket questions, that's fine. Who would you like to talk to the most right now?
The discussion of gods by Miss Contestant number 2 has me concerned about one question. May I ask her something first?
Sure.
Hi, Miss Contestant number 2, are there any ex-boyfriends I would have to worry about?
Well, time is eternal, and I have a lot of love to give. Some people like one feather. I prefer the entire duck.
Ah, so you have a tickle fetish. Okay.
I see nothing wrong with that.
Yes.
Personal situations, shut up, Katank. I mean, this is the last time. The bangle goes in my purse, okay? Sorry about that. Please continue.
He's fascinating. I actually had a question for yourself and Katank, if that's
okay.
Contestant number 3. How important is, and very broadly speaking, of course, how important is role playing for you in a relationship?
How important is what?
Role playing.
Role playing. Well, sometimes we do good cop, bad cop. That's what I'm most familiar with, of course. But anything that comes off a science fiction, a TV show that I like, suggest something. It sounds like fun.
Oh, the flexibility of it. I'm a fan. I'm a fan, for sure.
Declan, do you have any questions for contestant number 1?
Oh, I have so many questions for all of the contestants. But contestant number 1, you say you're a mage, and that's very fascinating. But I'd like to know a little bit more about you. Could you tell me something intriguing about yourself rather than your magic?
Gosh,
So
we've
much.
always been all brought up together and all learned the same things. I think that's a little bit of a world I've yet to explore.
Oh, well, I'm all about worlds that need exploring.
All right, Declan, what other questions do you have for our ladies today?
Oh, you're putting me on the spot. I don't know.
I am.
I don't know what to ask. Can I ask a broader question for the group? Because
Yes.
Thor still has me concerned. And this may be too personal, but I'd like to know who's the best lover you have ever had, and why? Is there anything in particular that I should be keeping an eye out on?
Who wants to take that one first? Anyone? Anyone?
Well, if I may be honest, there's the Irrkönig. We had something. There's something so precious about death and someone actually being able to appreciate it. So he might be a little bit of a concern, but I'm waiting to find him again. So I could take you back into the past and we could determine if he fit the profile. Maybe you're his reincarnation.
Or maybe I'm his stand-in. I'm a little concerned.
Could be.
Oh.
Hey, Dena, test number 3. What do you think?
Oh, well, possibly back in police academy, there was a fellow in my year, amazing guy. He was, I think maybe he wasn't so much cut out for police work because he was tender, he was kind, he was a shoulder to cry on. And I think he went into social work after that, but in the meantime, we had a lot of fun. Really, really nice guy. I liked him, but he went off planet, I think with a corporation, so I never saw him again, and I'm sorry about that. But I kind of hoping that I didn't scare him off, but I kind of think I did.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. If it helps, I consider what I do social work, and it's one way.
Oh well.
I help society.
Nice to hear.
They pay me, and I usually kill people, but it helps society.
All of that is good.
All right, Piper.
There was a Kylan named Ezekiel, and he and I met over some horrible circumstances, and we killed a few things along the way. Darkness, so they deserved it. It was definitely making society better. But he was wonderful. Although being part seraph, he was a little too kind sometimes.
We have gentle, we have tender, and then we have death. All fits very well together, and I have no big shoes to fill whatsoever. But Tamsin, I have my next question. It's very important. May I ask it?
You may go for it.
Okay, all right. Let's see. Contestant number 3. It sounds like you have experience with aliens, but my best friend, like I said, is a shape-shifting dragon, and usually he's about 7 feet tall, and he will soar just like me. But he can weigh about 20 tons when he feels like it. What's your do you have any reservations about giant monsters and especially intelligent ones?
Oh, no. I mean, when you live with an alien in your belly, Katank is inside my peritoneum. He's been here for years now. You get used to, I mean, the Alien Relations Department, they have me on call. So I get to meet a lot of people from off planet, and a dragon would be just fascinating, especially because he cannot comment on things when I am trying to sleep. So I would be very pleased to meet your dragon friend.
I'll speak to Indian. I'm sure he would be more than happy to have a discussion, especially with the two of you. It sounds like you would all discuss very well.
Well, Dr. Katank is a scientist, and he has a lot of interesting things to say. Maybe a little too much.
Oh, he and Rendian would get along very well. Rendian is 700 years old, and he knows more about the world than I could ever. So
look, I think it's going to turn into a real double date. So if you choose me.
Perfect. I don't know how he feels about aliens, but I'll be 1 second. Ben! He says it's fine. Yeah. Yep.
Wonderful.
I want to go out with a dragon. All right.
Would you like to be contestant number 4, Tamsin? I think this is a great idea.
I'm good.
Contestant number 4. So, you never answered. What would be your perfect date?
What was our next question for Piper? Piper.
Now, yes, Miss contestant number 1. Now, you are a master of magic. I am just starting myself. How do you feel about teaching, especially things with involving fire?
Really fun. My specialty is water. So it would be great to have someone to explore different ways that those very opposing forces would be able to work together. Also, you said your friend is 700 years old.
Oh, yes.
Say he would remember times before the apocalypse.
It's possible. We haven't had an apocalypse here on Veridin as far as I know, but perhaps you would have a discussion yourselves.
That would be very fun.
Oh, I feel Rin is getting more dates than I am at the moment.
Contestant number 2, how would you feel about hanging out with his dragons and monsters?
Well, his
And I actually mean a dragon and monster, not other things.
Well, he'd be right at home, I gotta say. I come from a family of what we would call monsters. My brother is the world serpent, Jormungandr, and my other brother is Fenrir, a giant wolf. So, dragon, par for the course.
Yes,
But I do think that teaching magic also just sounds like fun. Death magic. Death is part of life, after all.
yes, we're feeling a theme here with you, Lady Hell. I must admit. And speaking of monsters and your giant serpent, the more we speak, the more I'm a little threatened.
Good.
All right. And
It's close. I suppose I should feel some pressure.
this could get interesting. All right. What is our next question you might have for the ladies? Or would any of the ladies like to ask a question of Declan?
I'd like to ask him, so how did you get into your current line of work? Because it sounds like you do a public service, although most people wouldn't see it that way. But frankly, after having worked in the justice system, I would not myself condone freelance pest removal. But believe me, sometimes we're sitting there rooting for the opposition. So how did you start out?
Well, fortunately, I'm not entirely freelance. I worked. If I go into the very beginnings, it's quite a sad story of leaving home after my mother died. But I was fortunate enough to be picked up by the guilds of the capital cities, and I turns out I have quite a knack with the sword. And from there, Rin kind of took me under his wing, no pun intended. And it's been a tale of love and murder ever since.
Buddy, if you can take somebody out with that wooden sword, I think you must be pretty good.
Oh, this is all I need.
Interesting.
I have a question, if I may.
Of course, everybody gets one.
How many people have you killed?
Ooh.
Rin!
Should contestant number 3 close your ears on the answer to this question?
Malone, he is asking very personal questions. That's a woman. It's a she, okay?
Yes. Detective, would you mind covering your yes? Okay. Apparently, 1,237 and a half.
Half?
And a half?
Don't ask me. That's what he says.
Not in my jurisdiction, not my problem.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, what's with the half? You don't want to know the answer.
All right.
Yep.
Contestant 2, do you have a question for our gentleman?
Oh, well, of course. So since we're dealing with the theme of death and life, what is your greatest fear?
My
I'm
greatest...
sure I can help you with that.
Oh, now we're going deep. My greatest fear?
I'm eternal, so we have to go deep, real deep.
Yeah, very deep.
Very deep.
Giant world-ending serpent deep?
Yes, sounds appropriately.
Yes.
Appropriate.
In that case, embrace the double entendre of this, but probably a life without love. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's a very, very good answer.
Yes. Contestant number 1 and 3 took that to heart, and it sounds like contestant number 2 took that to other parts. But
Wonderful. Okay, back to you, Declan. Any questions you have for the ladies moving forward here?
I have so many questions, but I don't know if there's enough time in the world to ask everything. They're so fascinating. They're so interesting. Yeah, 1 second. Lynn is actually very interested in the double date with the alien. He keeps asking.
I'd be just all over that.
Oh, okay, all right. No, and according to my best friend here, I think the decision has already been made, Tamsin. I'm sorry.
I was about to say, I feel like we're just dragging the others along for collateral damage at this point, ladies. I'm so sorry. I guess we'll just go ahead and we'll say it. Declan, which contestant would you like to go on a date with?
It's going to have to be as wonderful as contestant number 1 and the talk of opposites attracting is, and as terrifying as contestant number 2 has been. It would be Miss is it Malone?
Malone, yes.
Malone, it would be Miss Malone. Would you do me the honor of going on a moonlit ride with me through an enchanted forest?
I would be so delighted. I'm
Fantastic.
just thrilled to pieces. I'll bring the picnic.
Fantastic. Bring the alien too, because the big guy is very excited.
I can't get rid of him.
An alien, a dragon, a man and a woman walk into a park.
Hopefully it doesn't end with death and destruction, because then we'll have Miss Contestant number 2 coming for a visit and it turns into a fivesome.
Okay. I'll bring enough for everyone.
Well, now that we know who Declan is going to take on his date, let's get to know who these characters are, what book they come from, a little more about their story. Piper?
My character is from the collection of Rogue Mage stories called Triumphant, set in the world of the Rogue Mage from by Faith Hunter.
Woo, Faith Hunter. All right. Contestant number 2, Lady Hell. Tell us about what you come from.
Oh, I'm Lady Hell, and I come from Tina Glasneck's Hell Chronicles series, which is an eternal battle of Lady Hell versus Odin for the world. So it's a lot of fun.
Sounds like it. And Dena, tell me a little bit more about your character.
Well, you can find me in 7 different stories in the Unidentified Funny Objects set of anthologies edited by Alex Schwartzman. And the Malone and Katang series has been running, I guess, about 8 years now. So I've been having a lot of fun with that.
Nice.
And they are by Jody, Lynn, and I, who's now the name's on here next to my face.
And where can we find these books?
You can find them on Amazon and your better purveyors of science fiction and fantasy literature.
Fantastic. And Declan, what are you from? What book series?
So Declan Idrys comes from, he's the main character of The Shattered Reigns, which was written by Bryce O'Connor and Luke Chmalenko. And it follows essentially Declan, who's an intrepid mercenary with a group of friends, including a giant sword-wielding dragon, which, if that doesn't interest you, I'm probably not gonna
Then
win.
fanny's not your thing. Yeah.
You know.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for joining us today. We really appreciate you coming and being a part of the dating game with the Fantasy Lit Track. If there's anyone else, you have anything else you'd like to share about yourselves or your books, now would be the time. Anyone? No?
I think fine.
Right. Well, we're so happy to have had you all. Thank you so much. And again, have a good night, everyone. Join us next time. Hello, and welcome to the Data Game with the Fantasy Lit Track. My name's Tamsin Silver, and we're here to help some poor lady find love. That poor lady today is Marisa Wolf. Everyone give her a round of applause. Happy to have her here. Woo! Marisa, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I am an author in search of that hot new partner in crime character to take me into my next series of adventures.
Ooh, that could get some steaminess going. All right, well, let's introduce you to your contestants. Contestant number 1, Martin Quincy, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I am the head of a mercenary outfit and recently have become prime of my own planet named Quincy. Wasn't really my choice. They named it, and kind of forced that on me. But, that's who I am.
A man with a planet instead of a man with a plan. I kind of like it. Works for me. Right. Contestant number 2, Withrow Surrett. Tell us about yourself.
Well, I can't claim to be anything fancy like prime of whatever, but I am the Vampire Lord of North Carolina, and I do lead a simple life in the suburbs where I can offer plenty of, let's say, stability. I wouldn't say I'm in a rut or anything. And biscuits, gravy, I like to cook. I'm on my neighborhood association's executive board. I guess you'd say I'm more of a small-scale natural leader.
Nice. A vampire with a comfy home to stay in and food. Not necessarily a bad choice. All right. Our third contestant is just Ting. Ting, tell us about yourself.
Yes, my name be Ting. I'm a Rastafarian troll shaman from the beautiful island of Jamaica. And let me tell you, Miss Wolf, you say you look for a partner in crime? Crime my ting.
Snap. All right. Well, for those of you who have never seen the dating game, God forbid, you must be, 5? So let's tell you now what that's all about. Today, Marisa is going to be asking some questions of our eligible bachelors, and she is going to be determining who she'd like to go on a date with. So we're going to have her ask questions. We'll start with a blanket question or two for the entire group, and then if she would like, she will ask some pointed questions of certain contestants until she's reached a point where we will let her choose who she's going out on a date with. So, Marisa, the floor is all yours. Can ask your question for all 3 gentlemen.
Thank you, Tamsin. All right, bachelors, let's start nice and easy. Who do you consider, or what would you consider a perfect first date were I to choose you?
All right, contestant 1, let us know.
Probably like to go to Karma and eat at Alistair's. He's got some of the best steak this side of the galaxy.
Ooh, nice. All right, contestant number 2. What would you consider for a best first date?
Well, so I got to be honest, sister, I'm gay as it gets. So we're not going to get up to much, but we're going to have a good time. So here's what we're going to do on our first date. We're going to go someplace nice and sort of generically commercial. There's a lot of anonymous people around and nobody notices people much. I'm thinking like the parking lot of a Hooters or like the parking lot of one of those truck stops. A holiday is a good time because if somebody goes missing on a holiday, nobody's going to notice, nobody's going to care. And then you and I are going to pick our victims and have some fun with them.
Sounds like trouble. Excellent.
Yeah, because nothing says a good time like Hooters. Ting, what would your answer to this question be?
Well, first, pretty lady, I pick you up at the airport. We drive to my little beach hotel, do a little jerk goat barbecue with plantains on the beach, maybe some rolling in the sand. Then, you got to wash all that sand off, so we go for a swim in the nice Caribbean water.
That sounds refreshing.
Sand and surf. Sounds pretty good to me. All right, Marisa, what's another good question you have for our
each of you seem to have a different approach to life, which I'm into. I like variety. So who would you say is your ideal partner in crime?
Ooh, ideal partner in crime. We're going to go back the other way. Ting, we'll start with you.
Well, I be a shaman, but I'm not averse to firearms. So a girl got to know how to use a gun because when you're around me, stuff happen. You're always another shadow runner, might be trying to encroach on my territory and take my cheat. And so, you know, the lead start flying, you got to be able to defend yourself, you know. Shoot the asshole out of a rat at 100 yards. That's that's the thing. So be prepared. Violence going to happen.
All right. So option 3 is violence. All right. Contestant 2, what you got?
Kind of feeling like my ideal partner in crime is Tang, but I don't know how many slots are open on his dance card, so I'm just going to leave that one be.
I always got a slot for you, man.
We'll let you know how it goes at the end of this.
Okay. I guess we got to have different tasting guys because we can't be competing. B, you got to have a dog or you got to like dogs because that's just going to come with the territory. I've got a dog. He's really important to me. He's like 60 years old at this point. We're not going to get rid of him anytime soon. You got to like, well, you don't have to like family because mine gone. But you do have to like hanging out with people who are unconventional. And you got to be able to appreciate a sarcastic sense of humor. Otherwise, we're never going to fly.
Thanks.
All right.
Can you help my dog live to be 60 years old?
Oh, yeah. I can definitely make that happen.
Amazing. Back in the game. Let's do it.
All right. Contestant number 1.
All right, my perfect partner in crime. Well, I was kind of angling for a feline assassin when this thing started up. But as long as they're willing to invade a planet with me, I'm pretty good with it. You know, you got to be able to be right by my side while we're killing other mercenaries.
Fellow, when you say feline assassin, do you mean a cat that kills people or do you mean a person that kills cats? Because one of those is okay and one of them is not.
A cat that kills. A hashtag cat assassin, if you will. I have several as friends.
Yes.
I feel like it's important.
I thought there might be a Depic in here today, so.
All right.
I couldn't find my cat ears, so here we go.
We'll let it go this time.
Thanks.
This time.
All
right. So, Marisa, do you have any pointed questions you'd like to ask any of our gentlemen, or would you like to ask another blanket question for the team?
Let's take let's ask some specific questions. So, awesome. Withrow, what would be the ideal meal that you would cook before we went to the Hooters parking lot? So, if I needed food and not blood, what would you cook for me?
Oh, let me tell you. I got taught how to cook because I grew up in the South, and I grew up in the good part of the South. I grew up in the mountains where they learned how to make do. And so I'm going to make you buttermilk biscuits. They are going to be absolutely perfect. They are going to have so many layers that they are going to look like one of those Japanese swords that gets folded like 1,000 times. It's going to be amazing. Then I'm going to make you sawmill gravy to go on top of those biscuits. Now, because you got to make sausage to make sawmill gravy, we might as well go full breakfast. Let's do breakfast for dinner. It's early evening, so it's the start of the night anyway. So let's do scrambled eggs. Let's do fried eggs. Let's do hash browns. Let's do sausage links. Let's do sausage patties. Let's get right in those veins and clog them up, girlfriend.
That's amazing. Breakfast for every meal. Yeah. Thanks.
That got me drooling a little bit there.
I know.
We're all like, that, yeah.
I know. Between the violence and the sausage, this is kind of my best dating show ever. Okay.
You sound a lot like my ex, violence and sausage.
Amazing. Cool. Ting, bachelor number 3. If I wanted to go on a heist, what amazing crime spree would you take me on?
Crime my thing. So we go down to Montego Bay, we catch a catamaran, and we go out to one of them fancy big mega yacht that be running by all kind of billionaire. We jump in the water, we scuba dive over, we creep up the transom of the vessel, and we take them for every penny they got. All that shiny jewelry, all the gold, all that fancy electronic, and we leave them all tied up fancy ways, take picture of them and put them all on the internet. And then we sail away into the sunset. That's the perfect crime.
That is a pretty great crime. Thank you. That's amazing. All right, Martin Quincy, bachelor number 1. You have a whole planet. What say I brought my cat assassins with me to visit your planet. What would be the most trouble that we could get into?
Good Lord. There's a community of Zool, which they would be fun to mess with, with cat assassins.
True.
I mean, I can imagine all kinds of dogs and cats things going on there. And there's a colony of Ziwi who kind of resemble mice. So, I mean, there's a whole lot that cat assassins could have fun with on Quincy. I mean, it's just all kinds of things.
Amazing.
Nice.
A planet's worth of trouble. I like it. Thank you.
Right. Well, we're going to give Marisa a quick break, and we're going to let each of our gentlemen ask her a question, so she doesn't have to come up with one. Let's go ahead and start with contestant number 1. If you could ask one thing of Marisa Wolf, what would it be?
Now you've put me on the spot.
Contestant number 2, you have a question for her.
How attached are you to the people you know in your current life? And if they, say, left your current life via whatever means, let's say unspecified means,
Sure.
how would you feel about that in the short term and in the long term?
I would say my dogs are off limit. So if anyone messes with my dogs, that would be a problem. For other people in my life, I would say I have a list. So as long as we could just check which list different people are on, think if, some disappeared. I'm an author. I can always write more.
The fact that you've already got at least one list of people who can go away means we could go real far.
I love it. Thank you, contestant number 2.
All right, contestant number 3. 1, I didn't forget about you. I will come back. Contestant 3, if you would ask your question to Marisa.
Okay, sister. I got to know, you be a writing lady. If you need a 7'2", 600-pound troll shaman in one of your book, what would you have me do? What kind of nasty thing you want done? That thing can you do for you?
That is a great question. I would say one of the best things, I would love to steal a whole planet. I'm really interested in this contestant 1 having his own planet situation. I want my own. So I would love for Ting to help me heist a planet.
You get me a spaceship, I get you one.
I can write one of those up.
Nice. Liking where this is going. Speaking of planets, didn't forget about you. No. All right. Number 1. Give us your question.
What are your views on dating royalty?
Oh.
How close are you to royalty?
I am not royalty. I am more of the scrappy nobody situation. As long as I don't have to do all that weird etiquette stuff and smile for cameras all the time, I could be into it.
Okay.
Nice. All right.
If you want to be closer to royalty, I make you my princess.
Oh, all right, Ting.
So Ting can make you the princess, and then you're available for Quincy. That gets interesting. While contestant 2 cooks.
Yeah, and it's already
about
queen.
trying to steal my planet.
I'm already a queen, so whatever.
So good.
All right, Marisa, a couple other questions for our gentlemen.
Yeah. So we've got a good threat of violence going on here. Say I was injured in a battle or a Hooters parking lot, wherever injury might come to find me. How would you protect me? What special skill do you have that would help you protect me?
What would you do if those Hooters just got to her?
I mean, sometimes Hooters are just like up in the face. They like flap around. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot. You can get overwhelmed. That's what I'm saying.
Who's going first?
Whichever, since we're on a Hooters thing, contestant 2, why don't we just go with you?
Are we always on a Hooters thing?
I gotta say, I don't I don't experience the interior of a Hooters very often, frankly. But
Well, everything's
there are a lot of-
curbside in 2020, so.
there are a lot of people
Right?
who won't be much forgotten or remembered if they disappear from the parking lot of one. So I've seen the outside plenty of times.
Sure.
What am I going to do if you need help in a fight? Well, I can move real fast. I can hit real hard. I can like tear things apart real well. I wouldn't exactly say that I have a ton of what's called training when it comes to combat, but I do have a lot of ability to make up for that with enthusiasm. So that's going to happen. What I'm not going to bring to the fight is like guns and stuff like that, because who needs that? I'm me. I don't need any of that stuff, and all that stuff really bothers me. So whatever, I don't care. I don't ever have to be scared of rednecks, but I can, sweep everybody up and throw them in a dumpster and drive the dumpster off into the middle of the highway so fast nobody will even know what happened.
Okay. Your body is the weapon. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Ooh, all right.
All right. I'm into it. I like things
I feel
things that blow up.
I usually keep those on hand. So
Some people carry a purse. You carry weapons. I think that's fine.
got a grenade.
I do. I
It's
love
cool.
But he keep his weapon in a purse, right?
Absolutely. It's a man purse.
Yep.
Demers?
That's what I do. Gotta do.
So if we was on a run, pretty lady, and you got injured in some way, shape, or form, I be summoning the biggest, baddest spirit shaman Loa you ever saw. My spirit animal be crocodile. So this big boy, he about 30 feet tall. He got teeth the size of, well, the size of something. And he cover for us while I swoop you up in my arm. We go flying off on a VTOL aircraft to the nearest hospital, and I'll hold your hand while they patch you up.
Awesome. Thank you. Good stuff.
All right. Any other questions you may have before we move on to another question from them, maybe?
No.
Ooh, maybe we're getting close to her knowing who she wants to go out with. All right. Well, gentlemen, I'm going to open it up for one more question from you all and see if you have anything you'd like to know about her. We'll start with, one is a dicey choice. We'll start with two. If you had one more question you'd like to ask Marisa, what would it be? Don't make me skip you two.
So, if we were going to meet up and tell a story together, what kind of antagonist would you want to give me? Who's a villain you've always wanted to write? What would they be like?
Oh,
Get.
what a good question. So my ideal villain is obviously convinced that they're the hero of the story. They are working to take over things that they should probably not take over. And they're probably using some pretty overwhelming firepower. But that leaves plenty of avenue for the sneaky, potentially heist approach to take them down.
Fair enough.
Nice.
Oh, I'm really hoping I'm not the villain. Okay, well, on to the next contestant.
All right. Contestant one, do you have a question for Marisa?
These cat assassins that are your friends that we were talking about, can I hire them?
I mean, everything's a negotiation. So if you have anything good to bargain for, can make a good case.
I've got a planet.
I was about to say, she's looking for a planet.
I've got a planet. It's got beaches. It's got mountains. It's got tropics. It's got everything.
But does it have Hooters, really?
Does it have Hooters?
Could
It's
probably
got-
have Hooters fairly easily. I could probably import a Hooters.
Yeah, maybe import some of that biscuits and gravy while we're at it. That still sounds amazing.
It really does.
and-
I have plans for dinner already.
Right? But yeah, then in that case, I would say welcome to our negotiation.
All right.
Nice. All
There are
right,
these people.
Ting. Ting, you're our last one to ask her another question.
So, sister, from your answer to the question by Mr. Withrow here, you have your perfect villain. He sounds like me. So
Oh.
my question to you be, what do I got to do to make you bad?
Oh.
Ooh.
I might have to give you the same answer of welcome to our negotiation.
I am open to negotiation always.
Fair enough.
Nice. Well, Marisa, I think you've got 3 fantastic Bachelor contestants here.
I really
So,
do.
if you were to choose one, who would you choose?
Quincy?
Oh,
Where is my Quincy?
hang on
What?
just a minute.
What's that now?
What's going on here?
Quincy?
Yeah, baby.
What
Oh.
are you doing?
Nothing.
Nothing. This looks like something. What are you doing?
Oh.
Nothing. This Cal set
Hello
this up.
there.
Cal?
Cal set this up.
Cal Turner?
Yeah. Cal Turner set this whole thing up. It was supposed to be some kind of charity event or something. Where
You do not belong here. And I will deal with Cal at a later time. You should warn him that I'm after him. Or I may have her friends enter a negotiation to take care of him themselves.
I do have good friends.
Bye.
So it appears, ladies and gentlemen, that possibly our Bachelor situation is actually down to 2.
Yeah.
So, Marisa, would you like to hang out in the suburbs, be cooked for, spend time at Hooters parking lot? Or would you like to head to Jamaica and go on a boat, get a planet? What would you like to do?
I mean, honestly, I'm kind of into the sexy lady in purple. But I would also say that I think Withrow and I should go bring some sausage and gravy and hang out in Jamaica with Ting for my date with Ting. And then we can just see if the 3 of us can get together.
That sounds sweet to me, darling.
Very
think
into
that's-
this. I like this plan a lot.
I like this plan a lot too. I think that's nice. I might hijack a trip.
Yeah,
Might
come
have
on
to
with
join
us.
you on that
I
one.
mean, you got the sexy hat. You might as well.
Like this hat.
That is a bad hat.
Thank you.
Pretty great hat.
Convention by, of course.
Love it.
All right. Well,
all I need is to hire the Depic.
Hook
That's
me
all
up
we
with your
need.
wife. We'll talk about it.
as long as your wife isn't going to kill anyone here, sir, we are good.
Yes.
All right. Well,
You're
before
safe.
we go today, and before we can let Marisa head off for some good cooking and some Jamaican love,
Pate.
we are going to make sure every single one of these characters lets us know what book they can be found in, who writes that book, so we can spend more time with them. We'll start with
Yes.
you, Martin. Martin Quincy, where can we find you?
I can be found in Fistful of Credits, Legend, and Descada the Legend. It's an ongoing series by Chris Kennedy Publishing, and it's written by Christopher Woods.
Nice, wonderful. Withrow Surratt, where can we find you?
I can be found in Perishables, the first book of the Withrow Chronicles, a 5-book series from Falstaff Books written by Michael G. Williams, and a box set of the Withrow Chronicles will get released the week before Dragon Con. So by the time you're watching this, it'll be available on Amazon.
Oh, awesome. Ting, where can we find you?
You'll be finding me in the recent release by Catalyst Game Labs, who make Shadowrun. And the title of the story be Crocodile Tears. It's a novella, and it's available on Catalyst Game Labs website. So you can also find a couple of short stories in different anthologies that he be in. One called, never mind. Stick to that one. It's the best. It just
And
released
it's written,
this book.
and who writes this?
Oh,
Who writes
yeah.
your character?
Written by this fellow named Chris Jackson. He write a lot of different stuff.
Right, understandable. And Marisa, you mentioned you were a writer. What do you write?
Yeah. Well, you can find my cat assassins who are getting hired here in Assassin, Hunter, and Negotiation, all by Marisa Wolf, who wears equally this many sunglasses, but is a little less sassy because she's married. And you can find all of my other books on The Place with the Books or on marisawolf.net.
Awesome. Well, my name is Tamsin Silver, and I'm also an author, and I'm also with Falstaff Books, and you can find my urban fantasy online as well as my historical fantasy. Billy the Kid is the book that just came out. It's with a new series with Falstaff, and the second book, The Torment of Richard Brewer, will be out also in time for Dragon Con. That's not happening. It will be out on August 27th, so The Curse of Billy the Kid, and book 2, The Torment of Richard Brewer, and in probably early 2021, The Murder of Cricket Kugler. And I'm at tamsinsilver.com. Anyways, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us for the dating game with, of course, the Fantasy Lit track. We'll catch you all next time. Take care out there.
Bye.